We had two main community problems that we looked to solve this year with our STEM team. The first one we had was organic waste in landfills, and that's a big problem for 3 reasons. 1, organic waste in landfills produces a lot of methane, which is actually more dangerous than CO2. Also, it produces runoff in waters, like water sources like streams and ponds and rivers. In addition, there's a lot of organic loss that could be put to better use, but instead it just sits in a landfill and rots. The other community problem that we identified was agriculture. In Pennsylvania, there's a lot of soil erosion and runoff that causes environmental issues. And we also have problems with chemical fertilizers that are poisonous to the environment in large quantities, as well as synthetic pesticides, which kill organisms that they're not intended to kill. So what we decided to do was take that organic waste and turn it into something a little bit more valuable to the average person.
Our solution is a Cup of Grow, which is an organic, all-natural soil amendment. Soil amendments are materials that are added to the soil to enhance its physical properties. We chose to do a soil amendment because they are cheaper, cleaner, and safer than most products. In our soil amendment, we have coffee grounds because they are rich in nitrogen, tea leaves because they are rich in potassium, and brewing grains because they are rich in phosphorus. We also added sawdust, triple phosphate, and micromax into our soil amendment.
We partnered with Alabaster Coffee in Williamsport to get fresh coffee grounds to use in our Cup of Grow. We got the grains from Nutrail, also right in our hometown, and we ordered tea leaves. We want to expand and partner with Dunkin' Donuts as they produce a lot of fresh coffee every single day. McDonald's would be another that we could look into, as they have also been growing their distribution of coffee very recently. As we would get more product, our markup would increase. This is due to the fact that all of our materials are donated and it's a self-funded company.
To complete our project, we followed the engineering design process. The first step in this is to define the problem. To do this, we surveyed our community members and asked what the biggest problem was in Pennsylvania. They told us that health, pollution, and safety were the top 3 issues. The next step is to collect information. To do this, we researched problems dealing with the issues of health, pollution, and safety. The third step is to brainstorm and analyze ideas. We settled on the idea of pollution from synthetic fertilizers and wasted organic matter from industry waste, and we wanted to do something about both of these issues. The fourth step is to develop solutions and create a test model. We decided to make a fertilizer from coffee grounds, brewing grains, tea leaves, and sawdust. After we collected more information, we decided our project was a soil amendment. In the future, we plan to make it into a compost tea. The fifth step is to get feedback from professionals. We talked to Dr. Dincher at Penn Tech, who gave us ideas to improve our product. The sixth step is to improve our design. From the feedback we got, we learned the proper 25:1 carbon to nitrogen ratio, and he also suggested adding nutrient supplements. This process continues as the experiment improves, and it just keeps going around until you have a final product.
So some of the improvements we made to our soil amendment is we converted it to a compost, and we did this by letting the soil amendment degrade in a compost bin. This would allow for things such as nitrogen to break down and increase. Along with that, the compost process allows for microbes to culture and grow. These microbes are good because it fights off diseases and strengthens root strength. We broke down the soil amendment into a compost by putting it in a compost bin and rotating it daily. And along with that, we measured things such as temperature and pH to make sure that it's breaking down. The ideal temperature is around 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. And another improvement we made to our soil amendment was converting it to a compost tea. This process involves using the compost and making it into a liquid fertilizer. The advantages of this would allow for things like the microbes in the compost to grow, and this would do a more effective job at killing diseases and strengthening root growth than the compost. And we would do this by putting water in a bin and putting our compost in a tea-like bag and put in an oxygen tube. This oxygen tube would bring in bubbles, allowing for the tea to mix up and for the liquid fertilizer to be created. Using this compost tea, we would create a hydroponic system in which tubes would be set up to plants and the liquid fertilizer would be fed directly into the plot.